everybody. Thank you so much for watching. You can subscribe right here to get the latest from the show and check out more of the best clips from Up and Adams, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FanDuel. You were a first-round pick, of course. You're saying the draft was just 2 days. It wasn't a big deal. Drake Maye, you know, I'm sure you're still plugged into the Patriots as ever. 1 year as a pro under his belt. What is one thing you're so looking for him to ace this year? Like something that you not something that he needs to work on, but something you're excited to see him jump to this season.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing that happened from year 1 to year 2 was the game slowed down. You know, that first year, you know, I think it was maybe, I think it might've been Phil Simms that described it this way. I can't remember back in the day, but you know, that first year, it's like you're putting your head in a popcorn machine while the popcorn's going off. It's happening so fast. That second year, things tend to slow down. You can anticipate a little bit better. Plus, I think that the left tackle they drafted, I love that dude's attitude, and I think that's gonna really benefit him, because the game also slows down when you're not getting hit as much. You know, so I think they're going to give him some help. And I just look, you know, for him, you know, the ball come out of his hands a little bit faster, anticipate a little bit better. Just more efficient, I think, would be the biggest thing that I would anticipate happening for him this year.
I mean, your second season in '94, I went and did my game log research. You led the league in yards your second season. You made the playoffs your second season. I expect that kind of jump out of Drake Maye. A lot of people, I know that you talked to me about how impressed you were with his athleticism. You mentioned it just a little bit here. Do you think you should run more?
Yeah, you know, it's such a great weapon, and something, quite honestly, I'm a little bit jealous of. It was not a big part of my game, obviously, but you know, it can really break the back of a defense, because you know, when you have a defensive play on third down, and we're looking at some third downs right here where you cover everybody's covered, you've done your job, and then all of a sudden the quarterback pulls it down, runs, and gets a first down. That's really disheartening to a defense. When you really feel like, you know, you did your job in coverage and you covered everybody, and all of a sudden a guy pulls it down and runs for a first down, it can really be devastating to a defense. I'm not necessarily, saying he should run more, but the ability to do that, man, it really changes. I mean, you watch Pat Mahomes it seems like every game, at the end of a game, Pat would, make one big play running the ball. Obviously, he's magic throwing the ball, but it just always seemed like in crunch time, he would pull it down and run for that first down. That was just a backbreaker, and I think Drake Maye has the ability to do that.
Do you think obviously the coaching change everyone's talking about, Vrabes, all of that, it's got to be hard to have to pick up a whole other vibe, a whole other thing. Like, what are we, in that world, should I be patient with Drake Maye this year?
Yeah, I think it's going to require some patience. I do believe in Josh McDaniels. By the way, the other Josh McDaniels, the real Josh McDaniels is our winemaker, Josh McDaniels. And then the other Josh McDaniels is the football coach. But I think Josh is great. There may be a learning curve where it may take a year, for them to become really comfortable with each other. It may happen really quickly. You never know how those relationships are going to go. But my hope now for Drake is that he can have some stability from that standpoint, where hopefully now he can work with the same coordinator for a while. I had 8 different coordinators in 14 years.
Is that right?
When you do that, you're learning a new personality, you're learning a new philosophy, you're learning a new language, all of this stuff. And when you can work with the same guy for a few years, you start to think the same, you start to, see things the same way. And so my hope for him is now that he'll have some stability for a while from that standpoint, where he can work with Josh for a number of years.